Chilling tales for dark nights.
The Pledge. Written by Matt Dymerski. Performed by Josh Irish. Featuring Alicia Pavlis, Benjamin Lissman, Ashley Tolfo, Barry Bowman, and Jesse Cornett.
I was skeptical when my online friends first linked me to the supposed evil Kickstarter that was going viral on the less than wholesome forums we frequented. We were an unmoderated haven for trolls, weirdos, and radicals, sure, but this Kickstarter was something else entirely. It seemed to have no publicly stated goal. The writers had only promised something awesome if the funding amount was reached. Stranger still, the rewards were all hidden, except for the first level. In the pledge $1 or more box, the text read, "Want to get started? Throw in $1 and you will receive access to the higher pledge tiers. Also, 2 things will happen. You will have a minor, intangible wish granted, and we will send you a video of one of us kicking a random stranger. Estimated delivery, tomorrow." Tomorrow? Don't these rewards usually only get sent out after full funding? But I understood what they were going for. This was a gimmick to get attention, and judging by the high number of backers listed in the box, it was working. Screw it, I thought. I'll throw in $1 and see what happens. As I woke up the next morning, I trudged around the kitchen making coffee and then sat sipping it at the table while trying to escape the grogginess of sleep. All I wanted was a day to myself to avoid the grinding monotony of classes. At that moment, my phone dinged. Lifting it, I saw that someone had sent me an email with a video attachment. I instantly became fully awake as I realized what this was. Opening it with trepidation, I hit play and watched. 5 teenagers in black hoodies and expressionless white masks ran through an alleyway together, often looking back at the camera and laughing. When they reached the street, they made a beeline for a tired businessman on a bench. The lead kid ran right up and kicked him in the shin.
What are you trying to... Oh, God!
By the time the businessman leapt up, the hooligans were already running away. Last few seconds of the video were a close-up of a white mask and dark, emotionless eye holes as they fled the scene.
This one's for you, Jason Phillips. Thanks for your $10 pledge.
It would be an understatement to say I was put off. I mean, they were actually going around kicking people in return for $1. I had to call the police. I picked up my phone again, moved to the action by the fear that I might be liable for this, but my phone dinged again. I had a text message and an email from the official college department telling me that classes were canceled today on account of a bomb threat. I sat in silence until it hit me. I'd just been wishing for a day to myself. Had these violent teenagers guessed that that would be my minor wish? Had they called in a bomb threat to get me the day off? I shivered. I couldn't call the police. I couldn't be connected to this. I'd be expelled at best and jailed at worst. They might even look into my history of trolling online, and then I'd really be screwed. How the hell had they gotten my name? Had I been so stupid to use my real credit card? I flipped through the logs and confirmation emails, but no. I'd taken the proper precautions and used an anonymous cash card. How had they gotten my information? Oh jeez, my friends had to be in on it, of course. This was all a prank. Well, they got me good. There's probably no bomb threat at all. Text had likely been faked or spoofed somehow. Smiling the whole way, I went to class anyways. But it was canceled, and cops were everywhere. Rather than going home, I stopped in a Starbucks and pulled out my laptop. Was it paranoia to avoid using my computer at home? Something about this seemed off. Checking the Kickstarter again to try and understand what was happening, I saw that I had been given access to the $5 tier. Now that you've seen we're legit, why not up the stakes a little? Pledge $5, and we'll get you something tangible of your choice, worth $500 or less. We'll also send you a video of us punching a stranger in the face. Estimated delivery tomorrow. I could actually feel my circulatory system in my torso, thanks to the stressed beats within. It was not a pleasant feeling, but pay $5 and get something worth $500. First thing that came to mind was that gaming console I couldn't afford. All my classmates were talking about the greatest new games, but could only watch gameplay videos online to carry on the charade that I had them myself. In some sense, I believe that the Kickstarter videos were staged and that the end parts with a close-up and my spoken name were edited into the end of each file they sent out. Reassuring myself, I pledged $5. I drank more than my fair share of beer that night with my roommates, trying to pretend like everything was fine. I forced smiles and told some jokes. One of my friends mentioned that I seemed strained, but I laughed it off and said it was just the stress of upcoming finals. The beer helped me sleep, but I awoke with a start, ran downstairs as morning light shimmered in through the windows. There was already a package on my doorstep. It was addressed to someone named Ricardo Jimenez, along with a note that read, "Happy birthday, son." I opened it, but I already knew what it was. Someone else's gaming system had been diverted to my address. As I opened the box, my phone dinged. My blood ran cold. Were they teenagers? They were thin and lanky under their black hoodies and blue jeans, but their masks hid any identifying features. Watching them run, I noticed their gait seemed odd. I steeled myself as they burst out in a different alley and ran at a haggard mother pushing a baby carriage. But it was useless. The lead hooligan ran straight at her, popped her in the side of the face with a punch that took a straight line.
Hey there, Mommy.
What are you doing?
Do you like
From what I had just seen, I knew they were the same height as the woman they had just assaulted. I absorbed that fact to counter the horrible feeling that I had caused this to happen to some unsuspecting mother on the street. Again, a mask filled the video view for the final sequence.
Thanks for your $5 pledge, Jason Phillips. I hope you enjoy those games.
The gaming system found a new home in a dumpster 5 blocks away from my apartment. I couldn't keep it. Not after what I had seen. And I certainly couldn't sell it without confirming intent for any police that might be chasing these guys down. On the walk back, I took a roundabout route, and I eyed every car around me with suspicion. No one seemed to be taking notes of my presence. But why should they? To the real world, I was just a random college senior. They had no idea what I did or said online. Classes blurred by. I could think of nothing else but the Kickstarter. I knew I would see another new pledge level if I looked again, but I feared what I would find. Between classes, I tried to contact the friends that had linked me to it. None of them were responding. I was still half certain they were somehow in on it, but the feeling this whole thing was giving me, I just couldn't be sure anymore. My resistance lasted 2 days. Ostensibly, I was checking to see when the mysterious goalless Kickstarter was ending, but I couldn't help but glance down and see the $10 tier. You're in it now, friend. For your amazing support of $10, We'll free you from an intangible chain that's weighing you down. We'll also send you another one of those videos you love. In this one, we'll non-fatally stab someone just for you. Estimated delivery, tomorrow. Stab someone. Jesus Christ. But an intangible chain weighing me down. God, my student loans. I hit the pledge button without letting myself debate further. My student loan debt was over $80,000, and it was represented a lifetime of tithing servitude that I would never fully repay. Not with the way the economy was going. Wine was my friend that night, rather than beer. I sat watching pirated movies online until the sun came up, not bearing to think about what I'd done. At the same time, I very much needed this to be real. When the Student Financial Service office opened, I was there. As I barged in the instant the clock hit the hour, a blonde fellow student looked up in surprise.
Can I help you?
Yes, I need to check my debt balance. I tried my best to look calm, but I guess my terse restraint just made me that much more suspicious. My name's Jason Phillips. Here's my student ID and papers.
Sure.
She took my paperwork and turned to her computer. She typed for a moment and then turned her attention back to me.
If this is about a payment, you can go to our... Oh.
She stopped typing.
It looks like you have a zero balance.
I was barely able to keep myself from shaking in my sneakers. She shook her head. Wait, no debt? It got paid off?
No, you've never taken out a loan with us at all. You're enrolled, but the registrar's database says you've been paying in cash every time.
I forced a nonchalant smile. From what accounts?
Oh, we don't have access to that here.
She gave a small laugh.
I'm just here through work study. Is something wrong? I'd kill to be debt-free.
My phone dinged in my pocket. Don't say that. Came out sounding far more serious than I had intended. Out in the hallway, I sat and watched the video. The same black-hooded, white-masked thugs were running through an alley. As they emerged onto the street, headed for a bald teenage girl in a shirt that read, "I stood strong, I fought hard, I won." I closed the video and put it away. I couldn't watch it. I recognized that kind of shirt from my father's own struggle with cancer. The shaking wouldn't stop. I imagined I was bright red from the absolute chaos going on inside my chest. God, I was free of the debt, free of the weight of $80,000 that had racked up when my father's illness ate my college fund. I was free of the debt, and I was happy for it. I was happy. Meanwhile, some teenage girl that had just survived the unthinkable was about to be stabbed in exchange. My only consolation, as spit and tears plopped onto the floor by my sneakers, was that the pledge box had specified non-fatal.
Are you all right?
It was my turn to look up in surprise.
It's not often that someone comes in freaked out and sad that they have no debt.
She studied my face.
Something's the matter, isn't it?
Sat next to me.
I'm Kelly.
Jason. I couldn't bring myself to look her in the eye.
Why don't you tell me what's wrong, Jason?
It all spilled out from me. One long babbling wave. The Kickstarter, the pledge tiers, the bomb threat, the kick, the gaming system, and the punch in the face. Canceled student loan debt. She sat and listened to it all. Wary. After I was done, she nodded once and narrowed her eyes.
Show me the video.
That was not the reaction I'd expected. I had been braced for disbelief for having the cops called on me. Are you sure? It's...
Just show it to me.
She took the phone and watched without visible reaction.
Skinhead, check out my pig sticker.
pledge, Jason Phillips. We're sure you'll agree freedom's never tasted so good.
When the video finished, Kelly looked up from the screen, handed the phone back to me.
Well, they stabbed her. But I think she'll live.
I finally found the strength to look her in the eye. Now that someone else knew, the grip of terror and self-loathing wasn't quite so powerful. You're not scared?
I don't know enough to be scared yet. Do you have the other 2 videos on this phone?
Yes. Here. I handed the phone back to her, watched as Kelly viewed the previous 2 reward videos with the same calculating gaze. Once they were over, she continued.
They always originate out of sight. Why is that? And who exactly is doing the filming? Tonight, let's get these on a bigger monitor and watch for reflection. These look like random city streets. There's no way they've got all the angles covered. And if they do, you'll know it's fake.
I nodded. I have a desktop computer at home, 2 big monitors.
You a computer science major?
Yeah.
All right, here's my number. Text me your address and I'll come by after work and classes.
I took my phone back with a sense of dumbfounded shame and hope. Why are you helping me?
Maybe I'm one of them, and this is just a way of secretly getting closer to you.
I laughed nervously, but she returned to the student financial service office without taking it back or even hinting that she was joking. Something about her deadpan attitude made her seem trustworthy, or maybe I was just desperate to have help in this, but I had no other option anyway. That night I sent her my address and she showed up with a laptop of her own and sat at the desk alongside me. I loaded up the videos on my large monitors and we began to go through them frame by frame, staring at every single blur and corner.
Hackers of some sort?
Kelly took a drink from a very large fountain soda she had bought.
You'd be surprised the kind of information they can get online.
Oh, I'm no stranger to hacking. It felt good to have an ally. Something about Kelly's demeanor told me I could trust her. I basically live on the internet. Career no lifer here, but this is a whole other level. Calling in bomb threats, redirecting mail, canceling debt, all without any police attention that I've seen. These guys are good. She glanced up at one of the tab names in my browser bar above the video.
You frequent that forum?
My face turned red, and I quickly closed the tab. I'm not a brony, I swear. I was just trying to get info on these guys.
Oh, I believe you.
There's nothing in the first or second video, even going frame by frame.
Could just be unlucky. Load up the 3rd one.
I glanced over at my small digital clock. Are you sure? It's 2 a.m.
I'm sure. There's something here.
Why are you helping me? She looked at me, straight in the eyes, which I found was rare for her.
It's a mystery. Don't you want to solve it?
They're hurting people. My heart was beating fast again for many reasons. This is messed up. They're already halfway to their fundraising goal, and I don't even know what'll happen when they reach it.
Could be some sort of terrorist attack. But that doesn't seem right. These guys have some sort of moral code lurking behind their cheery shenanigans. They're giving you things, but they're also hurting people. Before we look at the 3rd video, what's the next pledge tier?
I opened up the Kickstarter and stared. You've come so far in support of our grand goal. What's a few more dollars? Pledge $25 and we'll get you something tangible that will go a long way towards your happiness and freedom. Our video offering here is also pretty kick-ass, pun intended. With this tier, we'll send you a video of us kicking someone you know. Estimated delivery tomorrow. Kelly looked at me.
The cost in violence appears to have gone down.
But now it's someone I know. What does that mean? What level of being familiar with someone means I know them? Do they mean my friends online? Classmates here?
The choice is yours. But that seems like a small price to pay for more information. A 4th video would help, along with seeing them in action again.
Well, that's true. I'd been thinking that myself. Before I could second-guess the decision, I clicked the pledge button again. Kelly gazed around my bedroom.
Nothing happened.
Well, yeah, it's not immediate.
Then let's go over this video.
We began going through the third video frame by frame, looking for any hint of editing or angles that might show something the 5 masked, lanky figures had missed. And I lost all feeling in my limbs for a moment as I finally saw it. Pointing, I drew Kelly's attention to a reflection on a passing car window. 5 black hoodies and white masks could be seen. But
there's nobody filming. That's where the camera should be, right?
yeah, look, right there. There's the pole that just passed on the left. Where's the cameraman? Where's the camera? While I got up and began to pace back and forth in a panic, she sat in her chair, staring down at the desk.
Hacking, coding, digital alteration, buried for us to find. They want us to be scared. They didn't make a single mistake in the first 2 videos. Why now? They knew we'd comb through and find it. All part of the gimmick.
Yeah, that has to be it. She rocked back and forth slightly as she spoke.
But to edit the reflection on glass on a moving car so perfectly. It's amazing.
Kelly snapped out of her reverie and looked at me.
It's too late to walk through the city. I'm staying here tonight.
Just like that. One confusing terror drained out of me to be replaced by another. Okay. She slept on the other side of my bed while I remained awake. I was getting increasingly fatigued, but I was far too tense to sleep for many reasons. Morning came as a gradual gray lightning, and I sat up weary, just as the sounds of a loud and heavy truck began emanating from outside my window. Kelly awoke and popped up instantly with no sign of exhaustion. Together we went outside to see a heavy-set man operating a winch to lower a sports car onto the pavement.
You're Jason Phillips?
Yeah.
You got some ID?
I flashed him my driver's license.
This car's for you, kid. What did you do, get all A's and your parents bought you a car?
Staring, I said nothing. He handed me the title after I signed something on a clipboard. And suddenly, I was the new owner of a Lamborghini. The delivery man knew nothing of interest, only that the order had come in online and cleared. I was left to sit in my new sports car while my phone dinged every so often to remind me I had a new video. This didn't do it for me. I didn't care about the car. I wasn't really that material, except what else had the tier said? Something about freedom? A car meant the ability to travel. With a car, class would no longer be a 20-minute walk. I could give rides to people, curry favor, impress girls. I looked over at Kelly, who stood studying the title and paperwork. Did this kind of thing impact her at all? Nothing seemed to faze her. But I was not nearly as stoic. The 4th video immediately began in a dark gap between 2 houses. The 5 white masked perpetrators ran across the street towards a house I recognized. As they broke in the door, the sounds of my mother's screaming reached my ears. I watched in abject horror as the invaders broke my dad's at-home medical machines and began brutally kicking him till he was crawling on the floor. Exact grammar was important. The first tier had said that one of them would kick a random stranger. This latest tier had simply said the video would be of us kicking someone I knew. I hadn't paid close enough attention. My jaw began trembling as I watched the 5 run from the house laughing.
Jason Phillips, thanks for your continued donations.
What is it?
Through the open car window, I handed her the phone in silence. She watched it calmly.
This is great.
Great! Did you see what they did?
Yes, they entered a place they did not control, and by the color of the sky, it looks like they literally just did this. They'll have screwed up this time. They didn't give themselves a chance to edit the video. Get inside, get this on your monitor.
Wiping away tears, I did as instructed, and we began going over the fourth video frame by frame. I was gut-wrenching to see my father beaten so brutally after what he had already survived. And to know that I did that, it was something I could never apologize for.
The Kickstarter is almost at its goal.
Glancing at my other monitor, I saw only a sliver remaining to be filled. It was me, wasn't it? It was counting down for me. I kept finding excuses to gain things at the cost of others, and I kept finding ways to feel confused or surprised about the results, to shirk responsibility. It had clearly stated what would happen in each tier. In fact, while Kelly continued studying the fourth video, my eyes stayed to the fifth and final tier. Are you ready for the change? Pledge the maximum amount and we'll reach our goal. Untold wonders await our most devoted supporters. We'll also send you a video of us killing someone you know. Don't worry, it won't be a family member. Estimated delivery? Immediate. Untold wonders. What could that entail? They'd already done such incredible things, but it had all been within the realm of possibility via computers and social engineering so far.
They missed one. They missed a reflection.
She grasped my arm, but I just kept staring at the pledge button. Untold wonders.
They're not human. Jason! Jason, look, you have to look.
My hand floated to my mouse, and I moved the pointer over the pledge button. I had an idea of who would be sacrificed. If not a family member. Kelly seemed like a great person. Strange in some ways, very caring in others, but did I really value her as highly as whatever these untold wonders were? I didn't know her that well, but yes. Yes, I did. She was human. She was alive, just like me. This wasn't some anonymous person on the internet that I was slinging insults at. This was a real person. And I understood now that they had always been real people behind their monitors somewhere in the world. God, I'd been such a terrible person. The stress of my father's illness and the pressure on my finances and family pushed me in a dark direction. A direction I now had to resist. I let out a sigh and released the mouse. The spell was broken. It was over. The madness was over. No more. I can't go down this road any further. It's just not right. I turned and froze. The ominous black maw of a gun barrel had been pointed at the back of my head. It was now directly touching the bridge of my nose. Kelly? Kelly slowly withdrew her weapon, slotted it into an unseen holster. Still eerily calm. She began to walk away. I called after her from my seat, my mind racing from the adrenaline. What was all of this? Was it just some kind of test? Kelly paused at my door, without bothering to look back at me.
Yes. A test for admittance. And you failed.
Her gaze turned slowly toward me. Now that she was no longer putting on an act, I understood that her emotionless expression was that of an animated corpse.
But I'm glad you did. You wouldn't like it where we're from.
With that, she was gone. I was left to quiver in my chair, process what had happened, and stare at the one reflection the editor had missed in the fourth video. The face of the cameraman. It was a demonic, yellow-eyed, maggot-infested, sneering visage. It was a face that would haunt my nightmares for the rest of my life. It was my face. Almost.
Chilling tales for dark nights.